Hey, how you doing? It's good to start seeing people coming in. Tell me, is my voice loud enough? Can you hear the guitar? Is it all sort of coming out? Am I a little bit too quiet? We'll see if I can raise my chair. Sound is perfect. Excellent. Great. Let's raise the chair up as much as it can go. That's a little bit better. Awesome. Okay. Hello from Fiji. Let me know where you're all from, actually. Hey, Aaron. Hello to my friends from Canada, Florida, Portugal. What are you guys up to? Is it late over there? I think it's pretty late from memory. In Australia, it's only about sort of 3 p.m. What is it? It's almost 3 p.m. It is 2:40 in the afternoon. I've just finished shooting 8 different videos, so we've got so much content coming up. It was sort of crazy. Oh, hello to India. It's crazy trying to spend all this time. I don't know if you can see, but in the studio, still sort of recording. It's about 6 a.m. Wow, 6 a.m. and you're up watching me. Man, that's a good start to your day. Thanks so much. So I spent sort of most of today just filming videos. So we've got the next sort of few weeks done, and I'm going to bring you some updates. The EP is so close. I'm so excited. It's midnight in Florida. Man, thanks for staying up late. I thought I'd just show you a little bit. 10 a.m. Jacob, good morning. I thought I'd just show you a little bit more about these sort of pickups, and we'd have a little bit of a chat. Because man, I am so excited. If you haven't seen these are the Devon Townsend Fishman pickups, and you've got lots of different sort of options, different voices, different switches. If there's any questions you want to know about them, I thought you could maybe ask me now. What I really like about them, what do we got? Electric guitar. I got an electric guitar and they're super amazing, awesome. Can you play anything from Metallica? Whoa, I'd have to remember. My problem is, you guys, and girls, if there's any girls watching, is because I learned so many of those sort of one riff. Oh, we're going a bit slanty. Let's see if we can fix it up. Oh, that's even worse. Okay, there we go. Because I learned so many of those sort of one finger riff videos, you know, and riffs for you guys, I remember my biggest problem with my memory is I learned so many songs so quickly that I just have to move on really quick. So only after a couple sort of days, you know, I need to learn another 10, 20 songs for the different series. So I can never remember entire songs. I mean, for Metallica, you know, you'd be talking, what can we do? Let's do Into 7. These pickups are active. So what that means is you need to have a battery. I actually haven't opened this up before. You have to have a battery. Now, It's not like if you've ever heard of EMG pickups, which are another sort of powered battery, and they're the pickups that Metallica use. Metallica have used EMG pickups for such a long time. Oh, someone's asking me, also unable to play with keyboard players because I only know theory. Ah, okay, cool. Now, if you're starting to play with other musicians, amazing. I highly recommend you go back and check out my grade 1 theory playlist, because that's got everything in regards to different theory and different chords work and how to play with other musicians. So check out that one. What's the best metal settings? Well, it's really up to you. The problem is every amp is different and every guitar is different. What I would do, I highly recommend, actually, let's put down the guitar for a tick and I'll show you what my settings are on, and then you can see. And then we'll sort of talk about what I would do. So, if I... This is a very precarious way to sit the guitar. I'm not going to show you the guitar because it's too precarious. But let's check out. So, hopefully the audio doesn't go crazy. So, whoa, no, it's all gone. Okay, so here we go. So the settings that I've got for this sort of channel at the moment are on this side. And if you can see, I've rolled back the treble a little bit because it's quite a bright guitar. I've sort of added in a little bit of middle. The gain is only on, like, what would that be, 10 o'clock, so there's still twice as much gain that you could have in there. And the bass is sort of rolled off as well. And now, what's cool about this amp, actually we'll run you through the amp, but there's 4 different channels, so if I hit a foot switch, it'll add, it goes onto the red distortion, and then there's so much more gain. Maybe I'll set it up and let's check out that channel, but highly recommend. My little precarious setup is slowly falling apart, but that's okay. This is the magic of live videos. Anything and everything can go wrong, seemingly all the time. So, is that gonna work? Oh, yes, 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 yes. Here we go. All right, I'm making a tripod. This is a makeshift tripod. Guys, I don't know if this is gonna work, but again, I love doing these live videos because, here we go. Anything that can go wrong does and probably will happen. So what I suggest you do is load up a distorted sort of tone. Now this is the red channel, so there's going to be so much distortion. So much distortion, more distortion than you would ever need. That's with the distortion on, what is it on? It's on, yeah, it's on like this much, and it goes all the way around again. So there's so much distortion, but what I recommend you do is put all of your settings at 12 o'clock. So that means you're not adding sort of any extra treble or mids or bass. You're not sort of cutting any, it's just 12 o'clock. And then all I would do is just play a chord, play an A chord or a D chord. Can you hear all the strings? Is it sounding a little bit mushy? Maybe do then some palm muting. And just have a little bit of a listen, and then just play the same riff just over and over again, just a few times. Try adding a little bit more treble. Try sort of backing something down. I would just put everything on 12 and decide that way. Now with so much distortion on this amp, it's instantly going to feed back. Can you hear it? Hey Mike, can you instantly hear it feed back? So once it's feeding back to that degree, like I'm not even holding a note or playing, you know, you can sort of tell that I'm really cooking the amp. Let's see if we can get some musical sort of feedback going on. We'll hold a note. Pretty cool. So when you're really sort of punching that amp, when you're really maxing out the volume, you know, not maxing out the gain because the gain can make it a bit mushy, but really driving up that volume, you can get those sort of notes that would last forever. You could literally just hold a note and you can go and get a sandwich and, you know, just like Spinal Tap, and come back and it would still be going on. Any more questions? Questions about guitars, amps, lessons in the future? Let me know sort of what ability you're at, and then I can make the questions a little bit better for you. We'll be on for probably, I would say, another 5-6 minutes. So dive in with your questions and I'll answer as many as I can. How about we switch to like a clean channel? Heard it as recording effects. What do you mean by that? Alright, let's dive in with some clean. Alright. Maybe we'll pump up the volume a little bit. Yeah. Alright. Would you ever teach the intro to the song Every Breath You Take? Oh, I'm trying to remember that song. I know it's by Sting and the Police. Is that the one, now this is going to be completely wrong, but is that the one that's sort of like, that sort of thing, is it? Is it that sort of a vibe? Oh, cool. Okay, great. Well, so obviously that's not it, but I can definitely sort of teach that. That can be one of the riffs. I'll remember that. I actually, when I started learning that, there was a heavy metal band. I think it was called like His Eternal Majesty or something like that. I think that was the band, and they have like a metal version, and it's really cool. It's got the same sort of vibe. So I remember I learnt the riff for that, but I never learned the original. But I actually wrote a song from that Every Breath You Take riff. What was it? Yeah, that was it. Yeah. You don't have to teach it, but you put it in the... Ah, okay. So, I'm really, really glad that you mentioned that. So we've got sort of 2 riff series going at the moment. One every month where it's one finger riffs. And they're really, you know, you start off with sort of bass lines. But then, you know, I show you how to use the power chords. And then, you know, I show you how to use the full chords, and I really love that series. And then we have a harder series. Okay, we're gonna need some distortion for this one. Alright. And then we've got the harder series where we did, what did we do recently? We did, well, we did Thunderstruck, or we did, we did Zeppelin, or this is the problem. I learned so many I learned so many riffs, they just all sort of blend in. Yeah, that's it. That's Iron Maiden song. Yeah. So yeah, the problem with me learning so many riffs is they all just tend to blur together. But that's okay, and I really, really like this series. I can't imagine me ever not doing that one finger series, but maybe it'll evolve and get better over time. And really, really hoping that you guys are also, as well as playing the one finger riffs, you're also sort of learning full chords. And maybe even bar chords. Is anyone up to learning bar chords? Are you having trouble with bar chords? I can help with that. Let me know. We can go through that right now. I'll try and get more of like a More of a cleaner sort of sound. Alright, so there's a few people commenting about bar chords, so let's bring in a clean sound and we'll go into some bar chord stuff, because bar chords are awesome. They're the best thing, and they're amazing for guitar players, because other instruments, they can't play them. They can't move around in this sort of shapes that we do, or they can't move around as easily, I should say. So I've got a clean sound. It's a pretty good clean. Hopefully that's coming through. Okay, so the best thing about bar chords is when you're first starting out, you learn all these different chords. You learn C, D, G, A, E, maybe F. And you've got all these different shapes to learn and memorize, and you're like, there's so much. I'm never going to learn the instrument. There's so many strings. There's too many frets, blah, 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 blah. I was there as well, so I completely understand. The best thing about bar chords is, really, once you've learnt one shape, you can play every major chord that there is, every minor chord that there is. You only need to remember one shape, as opposed to all these different shapes from all these different types of chords. So one shape to rule them all. So if you were starting out, a lot of people sort of teach F to begin with, but look at my wrist. It's like pointing at it, oh, well, not my wrist, my elbow. It's like pointing out at an angle. Doesn't really seem comfortable, does it? It doesn't. This dusty area of the neck, where no one sort of plays bar chords, it's so much harder, and the angle at your wrist is the worst. What I recommend you do is actually learn your first chord all the way up here. The angle on my sort of elbow is a lot less, as opposed to that, where it's like I'm playing an F chord, but it's pointed out at a funny angle. So I would play, the first bar chord would be the C major bar chord. It sounds beautiful. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, yeah, well, you've been playing for ages, you make it look easy. I struggle with bar chords as well. So I would start with this C major bar chord. You're on the 8th fret. And what you would practice, and what you would try and do, is just try it every now and again when you practice. Get your first finger and lie it down. Now, to begin with, just try and hold down the first string. Once you've got that, try and hold down with that first finger the first and the second string. Now try the first, second, and third. Once you've got that, the next. Once you've got that, the next. Once you've got that, the next. And at any point, if you're sort of getting a bit of a muffled sound, just practice again, go away, come back the next day, try again. It just takes time, just like it takes time for the skin to sort of build up calluses on the end of your fingers. It takes time for the sort of strength and the skin to build up on the inside of your finger for those bar chords as well. But once you can get most of the strings sounding, I'd say 4 out of 6 would be awesome. Then what you do is you use your third finger and you would put it on the 10th fret of the 5th string. So you've got, if you can imagine, you've got a power chord. And then hold down all the other strings. Try that. Once you can do that and it sounds clean, add your pinky underneath that third finger. Once you've done that, then use your second finger on the, the 9th fret on the G. Seems a little bit, confusing, but I'll have more videos, a lot more videos on this bar chord shape. But once you've learnt this one shape, it's C major now, move it back and it's B. Move it back to the 5th fret and it's A. Move it back to the 1st fret, you've got F. Move it back to the G, move it back to the 3rd fret, you've got G. So you've got every single chord. You don't need to remember all these different shapes. You can just play one bar chord. And that's why if you ever see guitarists in bands and they're just sort of... and it seems like the easiest thing in the world, it's because it is. It's just one shape moved over and over. And if you want to have Nothing Else Matters, that was it, right? The problem is, I remember learning that entire first solo. I'd have to learn it again. But the problem is with any of those songs like Nothing Else Matters or Hotel California, all those songs, for me to teach it, it would take me hours upon hours upon hours teaching one song, and so few people will actually watch them. And there's already those videos online. So if you just search Google for how to play Hotel California or how to play Nothing Else Matters, people have already done tutorials on it. My whole thing is that I love teaching sort of one finger riff videos because it gets you into the guitar and it gets you really excited and learning riffs quickly. But that's why I don't necessarily yet do full songs or full sort of tutorials on entire solos. There was that awesome channel which is Solo a Week. He's changed his name now, but he would do a solo a week, and that was really, really cool. Do you intend to do lots? What do you mean by lots, Aaron, from Canada? Tell me what you intend, what I mean by that. Oh, riffs. Yeah. So we're going to continue this one finger series for a long, long time. But this channel is looking at branching out just from lessons and riffs into showing you behind the scenes. Like today I did a video on the EP and how that's going. The next step with the EP, once the solos are sort of recorded, because we've got a few sort of solo ideas and everything, and there's a new riff that I'm trying to add in. Really pretty. So I'm trying to add that riff in. Once the EP is done, then I'm going to show you what it's like to meet an engineer, to meet like a producer for the first time. I don't know these guys. This will be the first time. What's it like when you go over to their studio? How can you work together? How can you best help them by giving them your music? There's a lot to think of when you can't just sort of give them a folder of stuff. You need to sort of finely tune it so it's easier for them to work with and they can work faster and quicker, and that'll obviously save you money, like in the meantime anyway. But so then we're going to talk about recording, producing, how you can record different guitar tones, the easiest way, the cheapest way. I'm hoping I can work with a few different companies to give away some stuff as well. Maybe they can send me in some demos. And then, the whole idea with this channel is just showing you that you don't have to be the best musician in the world, but you can certainly be good at the instrument. You can be at a level where you can hear songs on the radio, you can start teaching yourself, you can start writing your own songs, and you can have fun, you can meet other musicians, you can jam. Absolutely anybody can do it. That's the whole point of this channel, and you'll sort of follow my journey along as well with sort of recording and then gigging, hopefully at the end of the year. And always, if you get sort of stuck on the instrument and you think, man, I wish I was better, I'm not sort of, at the level where I want to be, always just think of the Beatles, right? So that great Beatles song. What was it? Yeah. So we can work it out by the Beatles. Such simple chords. You just play a D chord and then you just put your pinky on the 3rd fret of the 1st string for a D sus. Simple songs, and a lot of Beatles songs are just 4 chords. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how complex this music will be around forever, and it influenced so many musicians, and it's just 4 simple chords. So you never have to, join this sort of shred You never need to join like shred gymnastics or whatever. You never need to be the fastest player in the world. You just need to take your time, be yourself, and then your own sort of individual music will come out. What's the difference between a tube amp and a normal amp? Great question. So, I don't know if I've got a... Oh yeah, I do. All right, here we go. So the difference between a tube amp, and this will be the last question, then we're going to wrap it up. How can I show you? Give me two... All right, so a normal amp, you might be thinking, is a solid state amp. So I'm going to show you one of those. Ugh. Okay, here's one I prepared here. So a solid state amp is basically, you could understand that if you just open it up, it would just be like a PCB, like an electronics board, and this one happens to run off power or batteries, but it's basically just electronics board and then speaker. Now that's, you know, there's obviously bigger ones than this. This is just a small sort of practice one, but that's it. Everything's sort of solid state. That's what you would call a normal amp, as being a solid state amp. But a tube amp is very, very different. A tube amp has these glowing... So, this fractal audio sort of unit, this is solid state. So, you know, it's just PCB boards, and it's just plugged in via USB and a few other cables. But it is some of the best guitar tones I have ever heard. Bands like Metallica only use gear like this because it's just easier. You can have 200 amps, 200 effects pedals, all in one sort of tiny, tiny unit. Whereas this rig, have a look at this rig. It is absolutely massive. It takes up so much space. I'm going to try and show you behind the rig, and you can see the glowing tubes because the amp itself is on. So let's go on an adventure and see if we can do that. It is quite precarious, but you know what? I really want to show you this because I think it would finish off the video well. How are we going to do this? All right, we're gonna slowly move things off, and we're gonna somehow find a way. As you can see, this amp doesn't really move, so it's a little bit. All right, let's dive in. So this is a tube amp. So there's glass glowing tubes inside of it. Can you see them there? Hopefully. So they almost look like sort of long light bulbs. So hopefully you can see them. So they're really warm. They give off a lot of warmth, and they sort of change the tone. So always, if you're curious, do like a Google search for, you know, the difference between valve and solid state. Oh, sorry about the microphone there. You know what? Someone said old technology. You could, in one way, you could think of them as being sort of older technology, but it's just different. Like some people only play valve amps and they swear by them and they won't even sort of try different amps, whereas some people like myself always want to push the boundaries. Like these pickups. What I'm so excited about these pickups is in every other electric guitar pickup, you've got thousands of windings, copper windings, around a magnet. With these pickups, it's actually, I forget the number, it's like 30 or 40 PCB boards stacked on top of each other. So that's never been done before. So there's no copper windings. So the sound is so much bigger, and you can actually, they can program in what sound that they want. It's amazing, and that's why I'm so excited about these pickups, because they sound just clearer and faster than anything else I've ever heard before. But that's just me. But guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. Thank you so much for joining. I had so much fun. We'll get a little bit of a closer angle happening. Tripod down. Okay, then it's time to go. So thank you so much everyone for joining. This was a really impromptu video. I'm really, really happy. We're gonna do maybe more like this because I had such a great time. And yeah, keep playing. Thanks so much for supporting this channel. Any more questions, this video will go live and go up on my channel. Just comment. And I always answer you guys' comments. You know, that's a big part of this channel. And I will see you all very, very soon. Have a great day or a great night. Talk to you again soon. Bye.